COVID-19 as a global phenomenon has changed our way of life in every possible aspect of the man's activity. Wherever you look, the life is not the same as it was 2 years ago. Just if you think about the communication, distance, new things that have been introduced, new rules, it has really made a lot of difference in our life. One of the important human activities, agriculture, has not been saved from that. We had a big change, but we should look at it in the optimistic way, that it brought actually a push for something that was around the corner, and that's digital agriculture. A phenomenon where all the bits and pieces of agricultural production become the information sources, information that are gathered, processed, and delivered as a new value to the end users in some services or products. This is something that we are living now. We are going through it as we speak, and COVID-19 has influenced this a lot. Something that was just a communication device is becoming a tool in agriculture. Mobile phone with GPS, with different sensors that can be attached to it. Also, some things that are known as satellites, as remote sensing, now became very important part of the agriculture, because through remote we can measure something without the real contact. We don't have to go and get together and mix with others to really get the valuable information. New technology that is known as the Internet of Things, which penetrated in other human parts of human life, now is entering agriculture with the possibility to install massive amounts of sensors in various parts of the production. Just if you think about soil moisture sensors or meteor stations, now we have the possibility to deploy hundreds and thousands of these devices. And all of them are actually producing data that are valuable to gather and analyze and come up with some new concepts where all these data are entering. We portray it here as a factory that is crunching the data and producing some new services. Biosense Institute is among the European leaders in digital transformation of agriculture, and we are doing it on several ways. I will use this opportunity to show you what we are doing and how we are providing people with the possibility to do something remotely, and therefore to really tackle the issue of human contact and COVID-19 problem. Something that was introduced by Biosense Institute 3 years ago as AgroSense platform now is getting new value in this framework, where all this information that we are collecting from different sources are given to farmers through their mobile phones and give them the possibility to do part of the work without really having to go to some offices, places, gatherings or something to have a personal contact, but they can do a lot of things remotely. So just as an illustration, in this online platform where we have 20,000 users currently, they have the possibility to find their property, the fields that they are working on, and to get a whole set of digital services for this production. So we are talking about very accurate weather forecasts, about analysis of weather data that are critical for agricultural production, like the amount of rainfall, cumulative temperature, and many other things. Also, they can monitor phenological phases in the plant development through these measurements, and they can have their own weather stations that can be plugged in this system, so that they really can rely on remote measurements and close monitoring of the products that they are doing. Also, for the sake of exchange of information, remote interaction, getting the right advices at the right time, they can use the digital platforms to enter all their activities, all the inputs, expenses, everything into the diary, the field book, where they can exchange this data with the others, with advisory services, agronomists, other colleagues, and they can do the additional processing, thus having additional information derived from this. Also, mentioning the remote sensing, today we have the possibility to provide farmers with very accurate, frequent satellite images of their fields with different vegetation indexes, where they can monitor their production closely. Every 3 to 5 days they are getting accurate data. So like on this example, they can really see between 2 dates, 3 days apart, they can see substantial difference in the growing plant and how phenological phases are advancing. Also, we have introduced the possibility of soil analysis remotely, where when the sample is taken, it's geotagged, it's given into the lab, and after that it's automatically uploaded into the system. So there is no need to go to laboratory and wait for the result, getting it in paper or something. It's all automated here, and it can be placed on the map so that they can really know where the sample has been taken and what does it really mean in the context of other parameters that we collected. Also, drones are getting popular more and more every day, and farmers have the possibility to put drone images of their fields in the system. But not only that, they can order this online from third-party services. I will show you a few more details just in a minute. Along with those maps, they can upload arbitrary maps. For example, in here we have yield maps or soil conductivity and mechanical contact map. By doing this, they really can see that the yield is not equal everywhere, and that it correlates with the soil content and mechanical properties of the soil, and then they can design, with the help of a consultant, their own strategy for treating these plants on the field. Along these lines, new functionality that was added this year is that by purely remote sensing, without interaction with other people, without going into the fields, they can get the soil segmentation, they can get the analysis, where we provide the possibility to illustrate how variable, how different the field zones are. And based on that, they can have the accurate points for taking soil samples from this system. In this way, soil analysis really becomes much more meaningful, because it can be interpreted in a different way, where we can really understand what is going on. Not to mention how important the financial aspect is. In here, all the parameters that are related to financial data are collected through this platform and entered into the system, and it can be used in thousands of different ways. Can you imagine in the near future that farmer doesn't have to go to the bank at all? By having financial statement in the system, it's enough to share it with the bank officer and get the loan approved in a matter of minutes or hours, instead of going and waiting and mingling with other people into the bank office. Also, other elements of the production, like warnings for pests and diseases, are interacted here. So again, they don't have to go anywhere. They can get these data through the remote access. Of course, all of this is available on mobile device. That's what people are using today, from early childhood all the way to the late years. People have mobile phones, social networks, and other stuff that really during COVID pandemic helped them to get through and to feel not so isolated as they were actually. So everything, all of these things are available here. But what is especially important is that interaction between different parties is remote and digital, so that we really don't have to waste the time on personal contact and increase the risk of having in mind COVID, some exchange of disease and possible consequences of that. For the time being, we have introduced 2 remote services, but now behind the corner are also insurance and banks and stock market and other things. So with this system, farmer can find in the catalog of advisors, they can find the one that really is a good match for their production, and they can get the advice through the system by sharing the data that they collected, what they should do at the given moment. By complying with these recommendations, farmer is basically achieving the goal of having knowledge-based production, but really in an efficient and timely manner, where it's not necessary to wait for days for someone to come. So in this way, the similar thing is a drone service, where they don't have to go to different lectures to learn how to fly, to find the drone, and to then learn image processing, how to derive the valuable information. They can really devote themselves to their work, and through the third-party service they can order a drone image. Just by sending one request, they can their field data are exported, and the drone professionals that collect the image are giving them back in a matter of hours or days. They are giving them back very detailed drone images, and this way everyone is specializing in its own job. This is just a small illustration of the open platform that is basically open for all users, and we are trying to portray in a way how efficient it is and what does it mean digital platform in the context of COVID. But other things that are important for human interaction here are also getting digitized. We are working on that currently, and we have a number of products already on the market, but more of them around the corner. So here we will illustrate 3 of them. One is the Biosense APV. It's the subsidy management platform developed for the provincial government of Vojvodina, where basically half of the national budget for subsidies is distributed through this platform, where all the details from application, scoring, document management, control, inspection, and finally payment is done through the digital platform. So from this year, farmers are able to apply electronically. They don't have to get a single paper. Everything can be done in an electronic way, uploaded in the platform, and they can monitor their file, in which phase it is it close to approved, to be approved, and when they can expect the payment. Also, vice versa, they are submitting the proof of the expenditures, whether it's a hail net or irrigation system or a greenhouse. They are sending the geotagged photos through the system, and in this way they are confirming that they have applied the expenses in a right way. So in here there's illustration of the electronic file of the irrigation system that has been financed by the government through subsidies, and this file is multimedia. It's completely documented that it really complies with the initial statement. Also here is the illustration how the officers in the government are checking from the satellite whether hail nets or greenhouses are installed as they are supposed. So we can see on the left and the right image that situation before the greenhouse and situation after the greenhouse has been installed. Similarly, we have provided within the same system possibility to do the soil analysis remotely through the lab, where the soil farmer doesn't have to go out and to the lab at all. They can order this and get the analysis from the lab into their system, but also this is primarily for the government, where they can monitor the soil quality control. Third part of the system is crop structure, where for the 7 major arable crops we are providing very accurate data, 97% accuracy, where different statistics can be drawn out of this and used for various stakeholders, from climate companies as a commercial tool to government to use it as a strategy making tool. And also, speaking of digital transformation, if we are talking about the private sector, we are working a lot with insurance companies and lately banks. Here is the illustration of 2 big insurance companies. Serbia, Generali is the first one, where their agricultural insurance management is completely digitized. Everything is in GIS platform, where every change in the given field is reflected in the platform, and loss adjusters are armed with mobile phones, and they have to go out in the field and make the digital multimedia record of the damage that has been reported by the farmer. There are many other things that are inside, but even one step further for the other company, the DEOR, which is part of Unipol Group, we have designed the system where farmers can claim the damage through the mobile app called DEOR Terra. It's available on the Google Play Store. Through this mobile app, they can insure their property, and they can claim the damage by sending geotagged photographs to the insurance company. Insurance company can check from the satellite whether it complies with what farmer has claimed, and if it's all clear, they can do the settlement on the very same day. This has enormous impact to efficiency, because loss adjusters are now really just a necessary mechanism if something is not clear, but the operating costs of loss adjusters are heavily reduced. But this also brings to the contactless operation and remote work, which we are really, as we said, COVID-19 has boosted this phenomenon significantly in this direction. And finally, the future of this isolation brings us to the concept of digital village, where all this data that we are gathering are put into one digital system, and the future services in agriculture will be mostly remote digital services, where this can be managed through the digital system, but also interactions with with government, with banks, insurance, advisory services. It's all done in a digital way. So after COVID-19, something that we will see normally on our fields is tablet-equipped farmers, which really have lifestyle for 22nd century, lifestyle of digital agriculture.